those vegan guys. Thank you.
Hello beautiful people, sorry for vlogging you to death of late, but this one felt important, and I was going to wait until tomorrow when Jason was back at work, but he's happily in the lounge about to play a game, and so I said okay, I'm going to grab the kitchen just for a short moment and talk about what I wanted to talk about in today's kitchen vlog. So yesterday, Sunday the 15th, Sunday the 16th, I wrote this on my Facebook, which was, I suppose, the prelude to this vlog. I'm very lucky. The horror and much that followed took a massive toll on me as a person. Still does, to some extent. Over the last 3 to 4 years, on many occasions, I have suffered crippling depression, debilitating stress and anxiety, and yes, even suicidal thoughts and actual planning. I'm lucky because I have the strength and willingness to openly talk about it, to make vlogs about it. Not everybody does. Not everybody can. And even in some of the deepest and darkest times when I was planning my demise in the back rooms of my mind, I still smiled, I still laughed, I still made plans with friends and sent silly voice messages. You wouldn't have known unless I wanted you to know. I had my anchors throughout, always. One is often enough. I have 3. My husband, my mum, and my cat. Some don't have any. I guess what I'm saying here is, don't judge. Be a good friend. Talk. Listen. Love. You're worth it. We're worth it. I love you. And obviously this status was my response to hearing the news about Caroline Flack, and the fact that somebody so high profile, so in the public eye, with seemingly so much going for them, at only 40 years old, would take their own life is devastating. And I feel like the rest of us need to buffer the impact of that, because if this person with this standing and seemingly this much going for them can do that, what does that say to somebody having the same feelings with so much less going for them in their perception? And none of us will ever know. None of us will ever know what she was going through, what took her to that place. We can't know now. But Jason and I were talking about this a few nights ago, because most of you that are regulars to the channel will know that Jason had a couple of weeks off work due to stress and anxiety, which is unprecedented. And that was because of stress and anxiety at work, but the stress and anxiety at work was on top of the stress already felt from Brexit and from the general election, and from reading the news every day and seeing what Trump is getting away with and seeing what Boris Johnson is getting away with. There's not all of these things that all of us have to deal with. We are forced to deal with unless we completely choose to ignore them. But we are powerless, or it feels like we are powerless to do anything about. I mentioned the aura at the beginning of the piece I wrote on Facebook, by the way. For those of you that don't know what that is, what I'm talking about there, I will put a link up there now that explains what that was and when that was and what happened afterwards. And it really has been a hell of a journey this last few years too. I feel like the horror, in brief, it was an armed robbery that myself and my husband were victims in. Us two and four masked violent idiots with weapons, sledgehammers and knives. I feel like that fundamentally changed me as a person, and I know that there will be people who will think, oh, for God's sake, shut up about it, get over it. You don't ever get over things like that. You never get over things like that. You learn to live with them. You learn to live with the consequences of them. You learn to live with the fallout from them, but you never get over them. They do fundamentally change you as a person. And I wasn't exaggerating in that piece when I said that for the last 3 or 4 years, life has been very different. That night, lied on that concrete floor, feeling that my life was about to end, not at my own hand, fundamentally changed me. And there were a lot of dark periods that followed that event. There was one particular Tuesday that was incredibly tough, and I resurrected an old vlog about it, which again, pertaining to this issue at this time, is relevant, and so I will link that old vlog up there too. But I don't want this all to be about the negatives of mental health issues, which many of us deal with every single day, but how we work through them and how we reach out to people, how we reach out to each other, how we talk to each other, how we watch for the signs, how we don't try to be somebody else's solution. You can't solve somebody else's problem for them, as much as that would make you feel great. What you can do is be there for them during those problems without trying to offer any solutions, just offering an ear or a shoulder or some company or a drive out or whatever it may be, that when you see that a friend of yours is struggling, perhaps they're not going out as much, or they're not being as personally hygienic as they normally would be, or they are talking a lot about darkness. I felt kind of quite hearing this about Caroline the other day followed on from, if any of you watched my life walking vlogs over the last few days, I was actually talking about one of my favourite films, which is called Night Mother, with Anne Bancroft and Sissy Spacek. And I love it because I love those actresses, but I also love the subject matter, written by Marsha Norman as a play, which then became a film. And it follows the story of Jessie, played by Sissy Spacek, who is planning her suicide, and tells her mother, expecting her to just accept it, and for them to have this one last night together of mother and daughter. And it's about that journey, and it's an incredible movie. And then this happened, and of course this is a completely different, that's a drama, that's a film, it was a play, it's a beautiful dissection of two characters who should be at loggerheads and somehow manage to get through this situation together. And then, you know, I was talking about that the other day, and then this happened. On a more positive note, I did make a vlog a good few months ago called Owning That I'm a Warrior and You Should Own It Too. And I will link that vlog up there just in case you fancy having a look. I would recommend that one above all the others that I've linked in this one today, because it comes from a purely positive place. It comes from a place where I still am at now. I'm not always here, I'm not always in this good place, but when I am in this good place, I do own that I've been through an armed robbery where somebody tried to kill me, and I'm still a fabulous drag queen. It's about owning that if you've been through all this toughness and darkness and struggle, and you're still here, you're a fucking warrior. You're a warrior, full stop. There's no two ways about it. You are a warrior. You're alright, you're not wearing armour or carrying a shield or a javelin. Metaphorically you are. But you're a warrior because you're here, surviving, reaching out to other people, trying to ensure that they don't go through the same as you've been through. I just think, again, Jason and I were talking about it before, and it was the same kind of shock when Robin Williams took his own life, because you put these people on a pedestal, not that we revere them or worship them, but you do put them a couple of rungs above you, because they are in status, in wealth, in recognisability, in you know, in all of that. And it's tough to think that they had all this laid at their feet and they still took their own lives. And this is why we can never judge anybody. Everybody you see is going through a story you know nothing about, and maybe if you're lucky they'll share some parts of that story with you and you can hear them. That's possibly the most important part, is just having someone hear you, acknowledge you, so that you know that they're there, they know that you are there, and you can help each other to get through the dark times. When I posted this status on Facebook, I also shared it to our Those Vegan Guys page, and the outpourings from people who want to share their stories too, and want to say, yes, I've been through this and this and this and this and this, and I've felt dark and I've not wanted to be here, but I'm here. So I just wanted to say that I'm here for you, and although I may not be able to physically do anything to help you or impact on you in any way, I'm always willing to hear you, always. How could I not return the favour? You've heard me all these months waffling on, prattling on about all kinds of things, and that's meant the world to me. this has become my therapy. This is a continuation of the CBT I had. That was crucially important, because there was a time I couldn't talk about the aura at all. I kind of just went blank when someone asked me about it, and because I didn't know where to start, I didn't know how much of it I should talk about and how much of it I should cover. And what CBT taught me was to absolutely face that head on and talk about it really openly. And I do that, and I did that, and you heard me, and you shared, and you empathised. And I suppose that's what this is about. It's about urging you, please, to reach out. There's a song from a musical called Dear Evan Hansen. It's a beautiful song. The first time I heard it, I completely fell in love with it. But the lyrics are pertinent. I'm going to link the song up there because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. There's also another song from an incredible songwriter called Scott Allen. When I was hosting the TV show in Manchester, I did a couple of episodes on depression and dealing with depression, and just at that time Scott Allen had written a song about depression and about the things worth holding on to, your anchors. Again, it's a beautiful song with empathetic and empowering lyrics. I'm going to link that there too. So bless Caroline. I cannot even fathom or imagine what the darkness was that she couldn't shed light upon. What I do know is that social media and media in general played a big part in crushing her spirit. People online can be incredibly cruel, say incredibly cruel things, just be generally nasty, dislike, thumbs down, I hate you, it's, or making up stories from sources. A source told us this. But you know, we, the public, buy these rags that play a big part in crushing people's lives. And I think it's just really important for us all to tap into the good that's in all of us. We all have good in us, all of us. And being good, reaching out to people with kindness and compassion feels so much nicer than a nasty comment or a dig. So let's do more of that. Let's do more of that, reaching out to each other and talking to each other and being honest and open and not being afraid to talk about the dark days and the visits from the black dog and the planning you were doing in the back of your mind and what stopped you. I'll be brutally frank with you. I've got to the point over the last couple of years, only on a couple of occasions, where I have actually got to the planning stage. And the only thing that stopped me were those 3 anchors. Knowing that if I did anything stupid, it would crush my husband, it would crush my mother, and it would very negatively affect the life of my cat because she's very close to me. But if you're going to visualise your demise, then you must also visualise the impact it will have on others. If you're going to visualise a world without you, visualise someone having to find you and what that would do to them. Those are my anchors. Those are the things that stopped me, and thank goodness they did. Because even though that time and that time I was ready, I sit here now and think, thank goodness I didn't. I wouldn't be sat here now talking to you, wouldn't have this YouTube channel. But I didn't, and I do. There are so many things worth holding on to. Find yours, they're your anchors. I too will put some information down there, like I have in other mental health videos. Reach out. Reach out a hand, and oh, someone will come running. Lyrics from the Evan Hansen song. Okay, I think I'm done now. I needed to get all of that off my chest and pay tribute to a beautiful and extremely talented 40-year-old who isn't with us anymore. We all play our part to make this world what it is. Play a good part. I'm trying my best every day to play a good part. Thank you very much for watching. Please be excellent to yourself, and please be excellent to each other.
Really hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe, it helps us out loads.
It really does. And check down there in the description because you'll find loads of links. The 2 ways that you can best support us to keep this channel going are through becoming a patron on our Patreon down there in the description, or buying our merch, darling. Fabulous link down there. We deal with a fabulous vegan company called Vegan Original. Check it out, guys.